I play basketball at a local university, and basketball is something that has brought me a lot of joy. I truly do love the game. Recently, I was sick, and I couldn't play for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And when I finally did step back on the court, it was my body wasn't as in good a shape as it usually is. So I found that my mind was, I guess, quieter. It wasn't rambling on about things going on outside the court, things like that. And I found that I played a lot better. I found that I was much more crisp in my decisions. Everything was just so much clearer on what I should do as far as decision making on the court. My question is, what can I do off the court? Maybe meditation or something along those lines to help me have that type of mindset on the court, and I'm not sick. The last thing I want to do is be sick all my life just to become an All-American.
Well, you see, what happened to you is that it's a bit like our friend talking about the light fixture falling on the young man. Mm-hmm. It brought him to a sharper point of focus. And so things that you had been taking for granted, you no longer felt like you could take for granted. And so you became more focused upon your own body, your own movement. And so what we're talking about here is really about focus, mostly.
Okay.
Of course, that's what everything is about. That's what creating is about.
Right.
You have this wonderful advantage now of having this experience where you felt more focused and therefore more deft, more flexible, more mindful, more in the right place. You have the experience of having played this better game, and you have the benefit of now remembering all of that. That's the very best thing that you could do to ensure that it remains. Just keep remembering how that felt.
Okay.
Jerry and Esther's daughter lived in California. She was going to school there, and they were living in Texas. And Tracy was flying to see them several times a year. She would say she was coming for her Abraham-Hicks. She would usually attend a meeting like this and, in her words, get sort of pumped back up and back into her place of feeling her own well-being. And then when she would return, she said to her mother over the telephone, "It seems to me that this time my feeling of well-being is lasting longer than it has ever lasted before." She said it just went on and on and on and on and on. And then she said, one day, I was in my car driving to work, and I just felt awful, and I realized the feeling was gone. And she said, for a moment I panicked, and I thought, oh, what will I do? It's going to be weeks before I can get back to Texas and get another fix. And Esther, her mother, said to her, what did you do? And Tracy said, well, I remembered sitting in that meeting room in Austin, and I don't even remember what Abraham was saying, but I remembered my feeling of enthusiasm as I almost wanted to leap to my feet and shout, yes. And when I remembered that, the feeling came back. All you have to do is remember a peak moment, and as you remember it and stay there long enough that you feel like you felt when you were there, now you have regenerated into your now.
So this, again, just like everything else, is about my thoughts?
Everything is about focus.
Okay.
As you focus upon being sick, that becomes a stronger reverberation in your now vibration. As you think about being on the court, being so clear, being so focused, how so many things outside of you seemed unimportant and it was only about right there. It's sort of like you take a broad spectrum of light and you bring it into a laser beam, or the way you focus a camera. It can be out of focus and into focus. It's the same sort of thing. The contrast that you lived caused a stronger rocket of desire, which generated a stronger focus within you. So it's just talking about what you want and why you want it. Give us here, if you want to, a description of what it was like in this more focused state.
It was almost as if I knew what was going to happen before it happened. I knew where a pass was going before, and the only thing I had to do was just wait for the offense to make the pass, and then I could just step in and steal it. It was there was so much of a free-flowing movement to my body. The things that I did were just they were just so much more precise. The decisions that I were making were so much more precise at the perfect moment, because basketball is a fast-moving game, and you have to make the right decision at the perfect time. And it was so effortless, and everything was just happening at the perfect time.
All right, now can you feel him? He's right there right now, isn't he? In other words, as you're describing it to us, there's not a departure in your vibration from that vibration. In other words, as you are describing it, you're holding yourself consistently in that energy.
Right.
And so that's all you need to do. We would encourage you to think about that 2 or 3 times a day, especially the day of a game, or even before a practice. Some would say you were in the zone or you were in the flow. In Abraham-Hicks, we would say you were tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You were in vibrational sync with the fuller part of you, and the fuller part of you does anticipate everything that's coming. As we are here together, we are aware of the vibrational intent of all of you. This meeting actually gathered before your physical bodies even got here. And your inner being, or the Abraham within you, is aware of all of that. And so that inner part of you is aware of the clarity of every player. That inner being is aware of every play that they are intending. That inner being is aware of everything that is planned and everything that is not planned. Everything that is to come is already known in advance by that broader perspective. It's like having a friend in a helicopter that can see a broader view, you see. And so as you bring yourself into vibrational harmony with that, then you have access to that knowing. Now your question is, it seemed to me that I got into that place through sickness. Now we want to talk about that just a little bit. Your sickness lasted a week and a half, you say? And during that time, what did you mostly do?
Well, I spent a few days in the hospital, and
Yes.
that was the first time I've done that.
Yes. And what do you remember of that? What was the time like for you?
It was
Was it more relaxing than usual? Was there less ask of you?
Yeah.
Were you less scattered?
Exactly.
Were there fewer things that were calling you?
Right. My health was the only thing that was on my mind.
And
That's the only thing I was concentrating.
so no one was saying you should be studying this, and no one was saying you were late coming over here. All of the expectations of all those that are pulling from you from all around had all sort of stopped, and you were allowed to singularly relax and come back into your well-being.
Right.
This is why we teach selfishness. That word always rubs people the wrong way, because you think it is virtuous to be selfless. Unless you are selfish enough to hold yourself in a place of well-being, then you really have not much to give anyone. And so what happened was, in your selflessness, you try to be so many things to so many people. So you sort of wear yourself out, not just in terms of your physical action, but in terms of your psychic energy. Worrying about this, worrying about that, wanting to be all things to all people. This caused you to sort of draw back in. In other words, through all of this, you've been launching rockets of desire that you're wanting somehow to get this all lined up. And so this illness came in answer to that desire to give you firsthand. You could have asked this question. You could have not had that experience, and you could have raised your hand in the back of the room. We may have seen you, maybe not. It depends on what else is happening. And you could have come forward and you could have asked the question, how can I become more focused, or how can I be a better basketball player? And we could have given you all of the same words that we're giving you here, and you would not have received a fraction of them. But this experience put you in the place of asking, so that as you receive the answer, not only from us, but through the experience of having that tuned in, tapped in feeling. In other words, you showed yourself how important it is to be selfish enough to focus singularly enough to get into that connected state in order to have what you were wanting.
Okay.
Not a complicated thing, just a thing of focus.
Okay. I have questions about things that, as you say, I just experienced this, so I can draw back on that experience
Yes.
to have it occur in my life more often. But there are other things that I want that I've never experienced before, like quickness that's just unparalleled to anybody.
Who have you seen that is quick?
Michael Jordan.
All right, now talk about that. Describe what you have seen of him.
Well, I watch videotapes, and as he drives past his defender, he's already passed him before his defender even turns his head. It's almost as if this man could be one of the best defenders in the league, but now that he's guarding Michael Jordan, he seems like one of the slowest players I've ever seen in my life.
Now, here's what we want you to focus upon just for a moment. Do you think we're talking about the actual physical speed of the individuals, or do you think we're talking about purity of focus that gives him the edge?
Exactly.
In other words, if you took this man that you're calling fast, and this man who appeared slow, and you put them in a foot race, it might
not be so lopsided.
It might be so even that you could not discern it. But in his game, where he has set his tone, where he has not deviated from his expectation, he dominates the vibrational field. Have you ever had the experience of being with someone who, just being in their presence, you are brighter and surer and clearer than usual? And if you had the experience of being with someone and being in their presence, you seem to be more bumbling, more stumbling, more awkward than usual? Is it about your quickness, or is it something about some psychic vibration that's going on? In other words, is it like blitzing an energy field? Is it like energy discord, you see? And the thing that we want you to hear, you don't have to dominate the energy in the basketball forum. It sounds like that's what we're talking about, but it isn't. All you have to be is in alignment with your own energy. Michael Jordan, when he is in that zone or that frame of mind that you are witnessing there, it's not about what he's doing in relationship with his energy compared to what other people are doing. It's about his relationship to his own source energy. One day, not long after Esther began receiving us in this way, she went down to open the gate for her mate. He was still putting his shoes on and gathering up things, and she said, "I'll walk down and open the gate." So she had about 5 minutes before he came, and as she was there, she found herself in what felt like an altered state of consciousness, although she could not describe it in that moment as that. But suddenly, she could smell fragrances that there was no obvious reason for her smelling them. And she could see beauty in the sky that was not there a moment ago. And she could hear birds singing that were so far away she couldn't see them, and yet they sounded as if they were sitting right on the gate in this enhanced state of awareness. Suddenly she said, "Abraham, it is you, isn't it?" And we said, "Oh, you've caught us again, peeping through your eyes, feeling through your fingers." In other words, when you are in that state where you are allowing a fuller part of who you are to flow, and you see, you don't have to do anything for that to be there. It's always there unless you're doing something for it not to be there. Now, what might you do that might let it not be there? You might be worrying about not having a good game. You might be beating up on yourself for not having enough sleep. You might be, and yet, look what you've proven to yourself. Here you were devastated. You were flat on your back. You weren't doing practicing. You weren't doing any of those things that you have thought that you need to do in order to be at your very best. And yet, in that restful, allowing, less resistant state, you found yourself at your best. Many of the athletes that you know and that you have revered, you've heard them say that sports is a physical thing, and it is about physical stamina and prowess, but it is a mind game first and foremost. And that's what you're talking about here. You have garnered the physical strength and skill and precision, and that will become more and more and more. It cannot help but expand, but you have gathered all that you would ever need to gather to be, as you said in your words, the best player on the planet. The only thing that you are now wanting to add to that is the confidence that comes from connecting to source energy. And once you've experienced it in the profound way that you did, you will never lose sight of it. In other words, it's a much easier reach now than it has ever been before. Don't make a big deal about this. Just sort of shake loose and be happy and get into the best frame of mind you can and think the happiest thoughts that you can and play over in your mind the very best that you've ever been. Even in games that you did not win, there are snatches where you had moments of brilliance and you're wanting to replay those in your experience, you see. And spend no time talking to anyone else about what you're doing. They won't understand and they'll water it down.
Okay. Thank you.
One more thing. When you watch the replays of your Michael Jordans or any of them, there are many of them that have talents that you're wanting to experience yourself. As you watch them, ask yourself one question. Where's his mind? What's he thinking? But most importantly, how's he feeling? What's his mood or attitude? And what you will see again and again is he feels invincible. He feels sure. he has utter confidence. In other words, it's his mood. That's what you're wanting to practice when you're watching. Not what's his shot, not what's his game, not how he's moved, not what's happening with the other players around. You're wanting to look into his eyes as the camera gets there as much as you can, or look into his body behavior, and you're wanting to ask yourself, what's his mood? What does he know?